Well, hello, everybody. My name is Emily Stickle. I'm with Improving, and I'm sure you could tell from the y'all, I am from Texas. I'm in the Houston area. So, this is my first Agile conference speaking. So, thank you for having me. It's exciting to be here. I did have a really beautiful presentation, and I threw it out this morning. So, you're just going to have to look at my lovely face as I talk through everything. I tend to get wordy. So, we went ahead and moved away from that. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to talk a little bit about my session. Just going to pull up the name so I don't say it right. That agile leadership starts with you. And this is something that's close to my heart. I'm really passionate about. I came into agile from a project management background, actually in operations. So now that I'm in the IT world, it's a really interesting structural change. Um, I started my agile transformational journey, my personal one, when I needed to start better managing my software development husband, and it's really improved my work as well. So that's been nice. One of the things, though, that I definitely want to talk about, and I work with a lot of coaches and I work with a lot of teams in different organizations. I tend to work a lot at the management level. And now that I'm doing more team coaching, I hear a lot of managers come in and start with the sentence, my team needs you to teach them to do this better. My team needs you to train better. My team needs you to help, Scrum, Agile, whatever it is. They need to know that better. And as agile practitioners, it's easy to say, cool, we've got this really rigid framework. I can teach them all the ceremonies. And it's really important that as those practitioners, you take a step back and remember kind of the core values that agile has when it comes to this. It's, individuals and interactions, getting your work done, collaborating, responding to change, really taking those elements and internalizing them in ourselves. How can we experiment with our own thoughts and ideas and how we want to do? How can we iterate on ourselves and our approach to working with those teams? How can we have those teams work through those? So it's one of those looking at full scope. How do you address it? When agile coaches are brought into fixed teams, it's really hard. It's really easy to hear people say that team needs to do it better. um, my department struggled with their agile transition. And can you show them how to do it right? We've completed our agile transformation and we didn't get the results we wanted. And so part of our own personal work in that is to start reframing the question. I want to create an environment where my team feels comfortable using agile practices. I want to create a safe space for people to communicate successes and failures and really talk through the work that they're doing. We started our agile transition and we're not where we want to be yet. How can we continue to iterate on our successes and address the things that are failures? And again, asking that question of our team, ourselves, and our management groups. We proselytize continuous improvement and really push for people to work with their teams that way. And we should approach we should take that for our own personal approach as well. How can we look at what we're doing as a practitioner and build on that? How can we learn? Like I said, myself, starting at an advisory level and moving down to a team level, I've constantly had to reapproach how I do things, build on my successes, and address my own failures. We need to allow ourselves to continue to experiment. I think the last speaker did a really good job about talking about that vulnerability too. How can we be vulnerable? We often ask our teams to talk through and be open and transparent. It's a tough spot to put them in if we're not open and transparent with ourselves and where we want to be. Understanding our team needs too. That goes back into, I don't want to say a buzzy word, but we can't build out what our team needs until we build in that psychological security. Again, going back to what we want to do with our values, building out what the team needs, and then allowing the space for them to develop in that iterative place. And that's going to involve coaching up and down. When we talk about building psychological security in teams, that means giving the teams the tools that they need to do their work. Like I said, working on ourselves to help demonstrate what we want for them. And then coaching up, letting management know what a team environment needs to look like. How do you create the space for the people to actually embrace the work that they're doing and continue to grow? How do you create an environment that leaves blame behind and embraces the constant change and constant plays? Just a couple of things, and I know I'm going to be conscientious of time here. Some of the ways that I've done this with groups and with teams is asking really simple questions. I don't know how many people on the call have been worked with a team and the first thing you hear is their daily stand-up goes past 15 minutes. Can you fix this? It's an easy one. A lot of people have heard it, and it's so easy to go back and tell people, hey, stop doing solutions. Just tell me what you're doing. Just work on it. Just move forward. For me, that is my biggest indicator that the team doesn't get what they need. And it's hard for a lot of people to say that. And it's hard for a lot of coaches or scrum masters to even admit that the reason they have that issue is because they're lacking something fundamental in their agile practice. And that's going to be communication and transparency and honesty. So when you walk into that group, the team needs more than 15 minutes to talk each day. Ask them what they're missing, where their communication points are. Are there things that they're nervous about? Do they feel that they only have one space to allow themselves that talking? Or is their communication breaks down team-wise? I hear another group of people will tell me, oh, for Scrum, we have the demo, nobody shows up and it doesn't really work. And working software is what we need. Again, that's a really common thing. It doesn't look like the textbooks and we're trying to force it and it's not working. Again, take a step back. Oh, there's the buzzing sound, sorry. Let me know if it stops. If not, I'll change my mic. Let me go ahead and just switch it up really fast.
Did it end? Perfect. So another thing we talk about with the demo, again, let's iterate, let's experiment, cancel it all out. It's not working. It's not doing what you want to do. As a coach, I know the rules so I can break them, cancel it and start to say, what are we trying to accomplish with this? Where are we missing? Again, coach up, coach down, try it out, experiment. So that's really kind of the cusp of what I wanted to speak on. Like I said, it looks like there's a lot of great speakers here who are talking about that. I think this is a great leverage off of some of the items that Christina talked about, but it's really making sure that you at all different levels embrace and understand how agile practices, again, start with you, build them into your own life, the way you manage, the way you coach, the way you try out things, make sure your team has those same ideals, that they are able to experiment, they're able to practice, they're able to build, and make sure that your management is on board with that. Make sure that you are always asking the question, are you creating the space for this team to be successful? Not just, will I do it better, but can we create the space together? So thank you. That's my 10-minute mark.